everyone. It's your favorite FGC VTuber about a fun thing I seen right nearby. I don't know if this is the. Hopefully this. Okay, he's the cool one. I remember he called out the other ones, but so he's cool. Yeah, what are the biggest plot holes in Resident Evil? I'll go first. Where does Brad go after leaving the Alpha team in the Arclay Mountains? I mean, I don't think that's a plot hole. It's just like, oh, where does he go? I mean, he left. I mean, maybe to refuel and then came back. I don't know. Yeah. What was in the bag? I mean, it's a limb of a regenerator, so let's see. What happened? What the fuck happened to these two contents of that ending scene? They fucked off and got money from Tricell. So, yep. Conan O'Brien has a podcast. So, see, that's solved. That's not a plot hole. See, this shows you how big dick my Resident Evilism is, right? I just got watching some videos too. Speak of the devil. They brought Rebecca back in RE1 and literally says nothing about happened in Zero. Actually, no, she does. When she goes to Chief O'Brien, she talks about her events, and then of course even reports Billy is dead. You know, but doesn't tell Jill. I mean, she just like, dude, what in what span of them surviving one does she have time to tell them? I will say what is a genuine plot hole is the fact that Rebecca's kind of shy and wimpy a bit in one. I think in the remake they did a great job of showing her like she's still like, oh, she didn't have ammo, but and then in Zero she's more strong and confident. I think that's a genuine plot hole, sort of. Like I see her, maybe she's just tired at that point. So maybe like again, when you survive Zero and then you go to one, you have no ammo at that point anymore. You're in a low mental state. I think there you can make an excuse to why Rebecca was a bit more wimpy, right? But I do think that's a slight plot hole, and that's one that my 2 cents, right? How Ada survived the fall in RE2? She didn't. The real ending was Mr. X throwing her at the wall. See, someone played Dark Side Chronicles, and of course, I don't know if they're talking about the reimagining. I think they're talking about the reimagining, because in the original that was the same thing, right? And then they realized suspense, you know. But in Dark Side Chronicles and Umbrella Operation Raccoon City, they sure just getting slammed. It's like, you know what? That makes more sense. That's more believable instead of her just falling. But how does she fall? But I mean, does she have the Gatling gun? What if she just had that the whole time? What if she? Oh, she fell, but then maybe she fell in. I would say goop, but see, that makes it more tricky. It's like that's kind of a plot hole for counting the OG one. But let's go with getting thrown to the wall. So they patched it. I consider that plot hole patched. Next, why would Jack a simple? Okay, this is the non-main canonical Resident Evil, but we'll bite it. A simple have all the secret pack. Well, you know what? I would say okay, Resident Evil 1 they covered that up because the creator. And also, if I'm not mistaken, I played 7. It was because that one jackass did all that, not his dad. And it's a very big farm, and his kid was fucked up, so he had all the time. So boom, that's not a real plot hole. Oddly, I'll give him that. That one did not take me out of the experience. It was everything else that was stupid with that shit. Like where the lady, here's a real plot hole. Like how when the zombie chick is like way over there on one side of the building, you see her, you run away, and then she just teleports to the front door. That was the biggest plot hole in RE7, hands down. Or I don't want to call it RE7. We'll call it uh a Normie Game 7. Yeah, we'll call it that. Normie Game Village or some shit, whatever. Gotta be Rebecca, not mentioning again, I already established that. Carlos says Jill saved him first in RE3 reimagining when she didn't save. He saved her first. Okay, yeah, that's a genuine plot hole. But it's from the reimaginings. The reimaginings have more plot holes than the originals. And like I said, I don't really count 7 and Village because they're honestly their own universe. And again, the current director of Resident Evil is just an idiot, and he somehow has more plot holes than the original. And the original does have plot holes. I'm not denying that. What happened to Natalia / Alex Wesker? Okay, you got the bad ending, I'm assuming. So that's your answer. You got the bad ending. Leon and Claire didn't see the news about the. I mean, they were literally on the road. You really think they were gonna have time to see the news? So boom, that's nipped. Resident Evil 2 RPD halfway. There's no hole in the wall where Nemesis. Yes, actually. Yes, that's something I noticed in the reimaginings. Actually, that was such a missed opportunity. Like, well, actually, no, it's because wasn't it because what's his face blew a hole in the wall instead of Nemesis? So actually, never mind. I retract that statement. Biggest plot hole ever. Where the frick is Chris's face? Okay, yeah. See, again, just the Resident Evil director right now is just an idiot. I don't even consider that a plot hole. It's just how much of an idiot the current director is. Anyways, how come Mr. X doesn't have a whole gap in his chest from burking when he cut? Because there's actually multiple tyrants. Fun fact: there are multiple that were laid down. It even shows you in the cutscene for RE2. So not a plot hole. Not the biggest, but certainly the newest one is gonna be confused. Why didn't Wesker get the Amber himself in separate ways? Oh, they're talking about the reimagining. No, I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. Ethan's body reacted to the mold differently from everybody else because he's already a mold, I think, or some bullshit like that. Okay, we're gonna try to tackle mainline stuff because the reimaginings and the new shit is way too plot holes, too many. I can't even fuck with it. Why Albert Wesker does anything. You're half right. You're half. No, no. To me, it's not even Albert Wesker. Just every secret organization ever, dude. Like I think to me the biggest plot hole was like the Revelations one. Oh yes, as someone who's a huge protector of the bioterrorism, let me go cause a bioterrorism accident. I just literally finished a Revelations one, and that to me, I had to even look it up. I'm like, okay, this kind of doesn't make sense. This the you know, like, okay, I'm gonna cause terror, so people remind people that they need anti-terrorist organization groups. Fuck do you mean? Like, Raccoon City didn't happen less than 10 years ago. People do want you. But then it was like, oh, he wants more power. Okay, that makes sense. Right? If you know, kind of with the whole conspiracy with a certain event that if they do this, they can have an excuse to have more security. So, okay, that one, okay, but like still half plot hole. Who locked the balcony door after the forest died? That's a genuine plot hole right there. When did oh, you know, speaking of the CG movies had god awful plot holes. On God they had really bad ones. So I don't want to. And then the later ones, not the first two. The first two were really fucking. My bad. The first two, three, whatever. Just the like yeah. We'll ignore those because those have stupid mad big plot holes. Like they made Rebecca just really fucking weird and way too much of a damsel in distress in the CG movies. Like, dude, no, fuck you. When did Rebecca Chambers leave Raccoon City following the events? She got on a chopper. Oh, when did I mean she left beforehand? I mean that's just not a plot hole. That's just yeah, I know because like I said because she went to Chief Iron and then everybody dipped and went their own thing. Chris went to Europe to go prove. Claire stayed to keep tabs. So did Barry. Uh, she went to go pursue her own career in the medical field because she was a medical thing. She went to she was the medical professional of Stars, so she went in. So actually, that's not really a plot hole at all. Jill is a highly trained police officer with experience of killing. Be it RE3, why did she go out into the apocalypse of Raccoon City in just the two? Oh, that's because it's what she was wearing at the moment. That's all that was. That and it just happened. Like no, that's not really a plot hole. It was just the situation that was at hand. The part in the original RE4 where Leon takes Krauser's knife, but it doesn't change the model. That's good. I think that's just limitations are a bit fault. You know what? You get a pass, sir. That's a good one. That's a genuine. Well, given the Resident Evil reimagining, he's flying overhead trying to make contact. I thought he originally took off fleeing the scene, wanting to avoid ending up like Joseph, but came into his senses and flew around the mansion, attempting to make contact to rescue them. Oh, the actual genuine remake of one. Huh. I thought that remember the imaginings. Ah, that's why I put it in capital. Okay, he knows what's up. No, like I said, just call them reimaginings, bro. It's not hard. How and when did Miranda infiltrate the wind? I think they explained that too, but again, not touching that. Why didn't Chris use people like old members or people he'd know, Carlos, Jake Mueller, for Hound Wolf? It would have been like the Expendables RE edition. I think I kind of whatever. Chris will just stick whatever BSA gives him, kind of shit, right? Whatever, some shit. RE2 and B scenario not making any sense story. Okay, you know what? They nailed it. That's like one hands down the biggest plot hole of the R. No, big plot hole. Another one is Resident Evil 1. Which one's canonical? Jill or Chris's? The debate never ends, though. It leans more towards Jill being the one that's canonical. But in my opinion, it's Umbrella Chronicles where they both went through the mansion, which also makes more sense. You know, one of them surviving, sus. Two of them, oh, completely doable, plausible, right? So to me, Umbrella Chronicles. See, Umbrella Chronicles and Darkside Chronicles exist not only just as games for the Wii, but to patch plot holes. What do you mean he didn't go anywhere? Brad flees and circles around the mountains through the entire contact whatever. See, so they solved the plot hole. See, look, there are people talking about the plot hole. You talking about? There's not a plot hole. Plot hole is something that goes against the logic established in the plot and the gap in the storyline. Yeah, right, exactly. I think most of these aren't real plot holes. You know, if I'm being honest, I don't think we've run into a genuine plot hole yet. Except, well, then again, this is scenario A, B, but, only one of them's canonical, and it's Leon's. But again, guess what? That got solved too. Darkside Chronicles just said they're both together. Makes more sense. So, when I stop and think about it, a lot of any if plot holes have been mad patched all the way up till 5, oddly. So I'd have to see if someone can actually point a genuine plot hole that still stands with the canon being fixed. And remember, we're ignoring everything past 5 because 6 is garbage. It's mad. See, no, that bitch has plot holes all over the place. That's another game that has too many plot holes. Revelations and Revelations 2 are solid, though. Minus what I mentioned earlier with the director. How did Sergei have Ivan Tyrants with him in 1998? when the purpose of the leading stars member to the mansion was to see how the original tyrant would fend for itself in actual combat. So the thing about that, you see, that's a fair assumption. The thing about that is that Ivan was ahead, and they were his personal ones. And not only that, that was actually a prototype. And think about this: he wanted to see how the original tyrant fared in combat because he's got better ones. That one clearly was not finished. It was a weakness, same as we seen with Zero. They already had other tyrants that were working on. Because think about it: how in a span of like a month do you have like 6 tyrants ready to go and a nemesis? The project was already underway. They wanted to see, that was probably its first time seeing actual combat. Like, how good can our prototype, our first one, go against members? Right? They wanted to see, and then that they would take that to the military and say, okay, so this is how good our weakest one can do. This is our average soldier. Bam, here's a nemesis. So it's not that out of pocket to think that they would already be Ivan tyrants, because they were barely above, a grade above of what they had already basically standardized at that point. And by the way, the five actually helped patch this up too. Like, how they've been doing experiments for years. I mean, dude, they already had shit set in Africa. And look at all those bodies. I mean, heck, you can see Lickers, one of the original zombies. So if they already got it Lickers, which Resident Evil 2 establishes Lickers, and then we get Tyrant. By the time one popped, even zero, this shit was already done. The Nemesis project was probably underway right as they were going, and we saw the only other project was the G project, and we saw how much that bigger that was compared to everything. The G virus was a step above of what they were doing with Nemesis, you know. So yeah, no, a lot of that pretty well explained actually. Like when it comes to the virus stuff, a lot of that shit's well fucking thought out. There's like no plot. Well, yeah, no, but never ignoring 6. No plot holes when it comes to the virus stuff. They actually did a really great job. Like there was, I think, barely, like I said, outside of me mentioning 5 kind of covering the tracks of like that, like how is there Ivan tyrant, there's been no real plot holes when it comes to the virology of Resident Evil. They've done an amazing job actually. How the fuck did Ada survive the? Okay, yeah, it's the fall. What happened to Claire after RE2? I mean, that's not the most important thing, but yeah, no, she just kind of went and looking for her brother Chris. That's why she went to Code Veronica. So this one didn't play Code Veronica. I want to see if someone says Code Veronica. Thank you. Nice. You said Code. How did Heisenberg know about Chris punching a boulder? There's too many plot holes to explore. Oh, that's just the stupid. We don't, like I said. Also, everybody knows about Chris punching a boulder. Like, come on. Why'd Chris go out to the providing Ethan military training if he didn't want him involved with his own family? I mean, yeah, that's something that was mad stupid. That's a genuine plot hole. But again, Resident Evil after 5, too many plot holes, way too many. That's why they're all trash. Not counting Revelations. Why does Alpha Team not have radios besides Wesker and Barry? That is true. Actually, that one's kind of legit. Probably the whole inconsistencies of RE2 remake between low. I mean, yes, there's a lot of plot holes and inconsistencies in the remake, so we're not touching that. What missions did Sherry do before RE6? That's not really a plot hole. That's just they just don't feel like doing that. How the outbreak didn't spread across the world is probably a reason. No, that's, I mean, they nuked it. I don't know what else to tell you. Where did Jake go after RE6 cliffhanger? I mean, that's not a plot hole. That's just them. They should have made the real Resident Evil 7, which got leaked, and I'm very disappointed we didn't get the RE7 I wanted. It would have been 6, but not ass. Love this artwork. This gold flip lighter. Wait, how's that a plot hole? I'm very confused. I could be dumb. Why did Wesker even want a dominant Plaga sample? All he did was create Magini, a handful of DWs. Like, he could. No, they explain that. I mean, all this by obtaining, like, that maybe, because he has a very smart virologist. But I think it just would have made things simple if he got the dominant Blaga sample. So it's just to make things easier. Because all he did was create Magini, and again he made them so he can fund his Uroboros project. So that's why he did that. And plus, with the parasite, they had parasites before. We've seen them dabble, but they were inferior. But the Las Plagas was much better. And then we could see it, right, that with the Uroboros, it takes the qualities, like you see the weak points are like the parasites, and everything else is like the T virus, but just as full cell forms. How about the magic elevator that goes like 10 miles sideways to a completely different area in RE0? That is genuinely a plot hole. Good job. I like how the genuine plot holes are all video game like related, not even like plot. It's like actual video game shit. Because I mean, this is video game stuff. If you really stop, good example. Like it's been proven that the warthog scene in Halo is not canonical at all. Like they said, oh, this is what it'd be. Just be super long. Like, dude, the Pillar of Autumn, I think that's what it's called. It's nowhere near that long. And in what segment would this serve a purpose for? So it's just video game stuff. You're gonna have plot holes like that in the name of fun. Wesker getting an adult alpha plaga sample from Krause's body after the island exploded. I don't think he got it from Kraus. I don't know about that one. Yeah, Wesker getting yeah. He went to Denny's next question. Why did Josh act so very sus in RE5? We were attacked, and I ended up here with blood around his mouth. I mean, I don't know. He was hit in the chest and made him bleed. I don't think that's a plot hole. Why do you have to blow up the water tower twice in two? You know, again, gameplay. It's gameplay. Doesn't. Oh yeah, they're talking about Brad still. What really happened to Steve Burnside? Oh, true, dude. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm just gonna assume he took his body and got the T virus from that. So there you go. Steve Burnside, just nothing more. It's just, if anything, what I'm assuming, he took the body, did his thing, and once he was done, he disposed of it. Done. I mean, you can. That's what I think is. I think what Resident Evil does a great job is it doesn't have to explain everything to you. What little it does give you, you can just assume like very clearly he's getting the T virus sample from that body, and knowing again you enough context because it'll show you it was nothing more than a body. They very clearly disposed of it either by incinerating it or just using it as like compost to make more zombies. You know, let's be real. That's probably what they did with Steve Burnside's body. Like it's not, you know, and that's the funny thing about some of these things. Like, oh, like, dude, if you have enough common sense and you see what the game sets up, it's not hard to assume what happened. Like, come on, same with the same motivation for half the people who are mercenaries and even Ada. It's money. Like, what is it really, dude? It's money. It's mainly money. Why do you think they're mercenaries? It's it establishes too, and even some of the lines. Oh yeah, we're here for. See, dialogue's like, oh yeah, I'm just here for the money. Like, what makes you think that Hunk and Ada are any different than the rest of the fuckers of the millions of pages we've been reading of dudes saying, yeah, we're in it for the money. But why they're in it for the money is something that makes it more obscure. Like, why does Hunk really do it from the same with Ada? There's actually a comic that goes into Ada, but I'm not spoiling that. Yeah, everything in 2017 in general. Brad. Oh, wait. If you keep going on the Brad thing, definitely what happened to Billy, even Carlos 2 outside of REG remake. I mean, that's not plot hole. Do people know what a plot hole is? That's just what you'd like to know. Those aren't plot holes. Like I said, and that one is like semi plot holy. Semi. That one's fair enough because it does have to do, but again, you could just assume enough context clues. He goes on break. I mean, how much did Richard get bitten by a giant snake in the attic when you need the helmet key to get inside that room? Yeah! See? Gameplay. It's always gameplay, dog. Gameplay, gameplay, gameplay. Why did Wesker send Ada if he was there anyways? Why didn't he look for the Amber? Oh, see, it's the stupid reimaginings. We're not touching that. Where the hell is our Code Veronica remake? I mean, that has nothing to do with this, but I agree. I mean, I want a real remake. I don't want reimaginings. A lot of people don't know what a plot hole is. Yes, thank you. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, no. Nope. I think that's it. So people don't know what a goddamn plot hole is, and I've disproved a lot of the ones that aren't. Interesting. I thought someone would have covered it. Like I said, to me personally, was the Revelations one that stuck out to me the most. But yeah, that's it. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this little fun thing. Name your actual plot hole down in the comments below, or something you're curious about. Feel free to mention if it's an actual plot hole, or just I've wondered. Like what did that prisoner from RE0 do after? It's like, dude, we don't know. It's left up to them, and it makes sense. Like we shouldn't know what he's been up to because he's a wanted fugitive. Shit. But yep, that'll end it. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed, and remember, every day is great when you're chibi.